Mark Consuelos, the presenter of Live with Kelly and Mark, undoubtedly keeps his wife, Kelly Ripa, who co-hosts the show, on her toes. Despite being married, the couple never fails to surprise one another, which keeps the viewers interested. Mark talks on the difficulties of being pretty on Live, yet he ventures into unexplored terrain. Similarly, when Mark tries an unplanned live matchmaking session for his pretty and single assistant, the conversation takes a turn. Consuelos, Mark, and Ripa Kelly bobbed from subject to subject. Kelly Ripa and the crew were taken by surprise by presenter Mark Consuelos on the September 24 broadcast of Live with Kelly and Mark. While Mark was discussing the criticism he is receiving for his limited coverage of sports, Kelly was discussing Pesto the Penguin, a recent internet sensation. Kelly also mentioned the most consequential election of our time, which is the contest between Mark and Jimmy Fallon. Both of them are vying for the title of Sexiest TV Show Host Alive from People magazine. The group also created a photo montage that promoted Mark's sensuality. The phrase, "paid for by the citizens for a sexier tomorrow," at the end of the video made Kelly laugh uncontrollably. However, this was a fantastic transition to Mark's discussion of the ugly side of being pretty. He then enumerates the difficulties faced by pretty people. In reaction, Kelly stated that she never considered what they go through and that she feels so bad for the pretty people. It reminded me of how pretty Mark's and Kelly's helpers are. However, the topic of conversation abruptly changed. Real-time highlights the pretty helpers. Kelly Ripa, the host of Live, undoubtedly agreed with Mark Consuelos. "Our chiefs of staff are incredibly skilled at their jobs, so I don't want to minimize their appearance," she remarked. "But they happen to be insanely good-looking people," she confesses. The cameras then go to highlight the lovely assistants who are standing close by. They appear caught off guard as they cross their arms during the awkward, unplanned moment after grinning at the attention. In addition, Kelly remarks, they'd appear to be from a photo shoot. During their interviews, Mark and Kelly remember being enthralled by Lauren and Grant. When Grant visited their home for his interview, Mark freely admits, "I didn't hear a word he said." Lauren's beauty also captured Kelly's attention. She recalled her as that pretty girl from New Jersey, she claimed. "I'm the only job Lauren has ever had out of college," Kelly Ripa also acknowledges. "She doesn't even know how many better jobs there are out there," she teases further. "But I told her, I was like, look, once in a while, I'll throw you on camera, and who knows." She then reveals, "You might be found out." Lauren is shown on tape waving wildly and jokingly with the concept of discovery. But Mark Consuelos goes one step further. He points out that Lauren is married, and they talk about how she has spent 14 years with her spouse. He subsequently feels compelled to try matchmaking for Grant, his pretty assistant. Grant, however, is not dating, he declares. Kelly jumped in, ready to mingle, despite the fact that it was unexpected that he was conducting an on-air call for individuals to submit letters. Later, they would read their offerings regarding Grant, according to Kelly. "Do you think Mark Consuelos is attempting to set up Grant, his pretty and single assistant? Will there be a significant response, in your opinion? Do Grant and Lauren find Mark and Kelly's chats surprising?" Mark Consuelos is known for many things: his charm, his on-screen intensity, his role as the ever-devoted husband to Kelly Ripa, and his ability to laugh at himself on Live with Kelly and Mark. But in recent days, fans have learned that he's also dipping his toes into a new, unexpected role: matchmaker, and the target of his romantic scheming. None other than his own assistant, whom he affectionately described on air as pretty, hardworking, and far too single for her own good. The revelation began innocently enough. During a candid moment between commercial breaks, Mark leaned into Kelly and whispered about a plan he had been hatching. When cameras resumed, Kelly, never one to let a juicy secret slip by, pressed him to spill. "Tell America what you just told me," she teased, nudging him playfully. Mark looked caught, his usual confident smirk faltering. "Well," he began, dragging the word, I just think it's time my assistant, who is amazing, by the way, meets someone worthy of her. She's beautiful, she's smart. She keeps my entire life together, and she deserves a great guy. Kelly, eyes widening in mock shock, gasped. Are you trying to play Cupid? On live television? This is dangerous territory, my love. The audience roared with laughter. Mark, undeterred, straightened in his chair and leaned toward the camera. Listen, if you're out there, and you're single, and you think you're good enough, maybe send us a note. I'll vet you personally. The studio turns into a dating agency. The producers of Live couldn't resist running with the moment. By the next day, viewers flooded the show's inbox with letters, emails, and even video messages from hopeful suitors. Some came armed with roses, others with cringe-worthy poetry, and a few with promises to treat her like the queen she clearly is. Kelly, gleeful at the chaos, egged Mark on. You've done it now, she said, wagging a finger at him as they flipped through submissions. This poor woman is going to need a restraining order, not a date. Mark chuckled, but remained steadfast. No, this is good. I'm telling you, Kel, I've got an eye for this. I know what she needs. Kelly smirked. What she needs is probably a pay raise and a long vacation away from you, micromanaging her coffee order. But sure, let's find her Prince Charming. The auditions. Soon, the show's green room became a parade of candidates. One young entrepreneur strutted in with an Italian leather briefcase, eager to impress Mark with his business savvy. Another, a yoga instructor with impossibly toned arms, offered to teach everyone breathing exercises right there on set. Kelly, sipping her tea, whispered loudly enough for the audience to hear. If I had let you pick my husband, Mark, I'd be stuck with some Wall Street guy explaining hedge funds every night at dinner. Mark shot back, grinning. And instead, you got me explaining how to order properly at In-N-Out. Much better deal. The chemistry between them, as always, was electric. But fans couldn't help focusing on the mysterious assistant behind all the fuss. Though rarely seen on camera, whispers around the set painted her as effortlessly elegant, with a knack for managing Mark's whirlwind schedule while juggling endless requests from producers, stylists, and Mark himself. She's like part of the family, Mark explained one morning. Kelly loves her. Our kids love her. She basically runs our lives. So yeah, I want her to be happy. The assistant speaks. At last, after days of playful teasing, the assistant herself was invited onto the set, though shy and hesitant. Dressed simply, she walked out to thunderous applause, cheeks flushed with embarrassment. I can't believe you did this, she told Mark, shaking her head with a smile that revealed both mortification and affection. Mark stood, guiding her toward the chair usually reserved for celebrity guests. America, meet the real hero of this show. She keeps me from missing flights, forgetting lines, and losing my glasses every 5 minutes. Kelly clasped her hands dramatically. And now she's the star of her very own reality show. Mark Consuelos presents, Love at First Assistant. The assistant laughed nervously. For the record, I wasn't exactly asking for this. But the audience could see her amusement, and social media lit up with posts about her. Within hours, hashtags like #AssistantSloveStory and #MarkTheMatchmaker trended across platforms. The date. Against her initial protests, she agreed to one date, with a candidate carefully chosen by Mark and approved, after much teasing, by Kelly. The show documented the entire setup. The assistant nervously choosing an outfit, Mark pacing like an anxious dad before prom, and Kelly offering sarcastic, but oddly sincere advice. Don't talk about Excel spreadsheets, Kelly warned. Nobody falls in love over scheduling software. The assistant shot back. You'd be surprised. The chosen suitor was a young writer, charming but grounded, who admitted on air that he'd been drawn not just by her looks but by Mark's description of her dedication and kindness. They dined at a quiet New York bistro, while hidden cameras, because of course, captured snippets of their laughter, their shared glances, and the way conversation flowed easily. By the next day, clips aired during live. With Kelly squealing like a teenager at every moment of chemistry, Mark beamed with pride. "See, I told you. I know what I'm doing." Kelly raised an eyebrow. "Let's not plan the wedding just yet, matchmaker. But I'll admit you might have done something good here." The aftermath. Whether the romance blossoms or fizzles remains a mystery. But one thing is certain. Mark's attempt at matchmaking has become one of the most talked about storylines in live history. Fans are invested, rooting for the assistant's happiness as though she were their own sister. Mark, meanwhile, seems to have discovered a new passion. He's joked about launching a spin-off, Consuelos Connections, finding love one assistant at a time. Kelly groaned at the idea. "If you start matchmaking professionally, I'm moving out. I cannot live in a house full of auditioning bachelors and bachelorettes." But the sparkle in her eyes betrayed her amusement. And as for the assistant, she's taking it all in stride, handling her boss's meddling with grace. Whether or not she finds lasting love, she already has something rare. A workplace where her happiness is championed as fiercely as her skills. Conclusion. Mark Consuelos may not be the next Cupid, but he's proven once again why fans adore him. Equal parts earnest and ridiculous, his matchmaking attempt was less about orchestrating a perfect romance and more about celebrating the people who make his life possible. In the end, maybe Kelly was right. The assistant probably does deserve a pay raise more than a blind date. But thanks to Mark's big heart and bigger mouth, she's also gained a fan club, a flood of admirers, and maybe, just maybe, the start of a love story.